Hello, Internet! I have returned once more, and I have some exciting news. I finally figured out how to post on AO3. Now, I bet you're wondering, how is this important? Especially considering I'm going to be putting this comic on YouTube and dubbing it. Well, the thing is, I have a vision for this where it is not completely family-friendly. Because, well, essentially the comic is going to be set in the world Cherry Treats makes. But seeing how she has essentially officially showed that she might add my character into the series, most likely as like a side character and potential aunt in some way to Gabriel, my little Gab. It kind of inspired me to make my own version. Now, none of my stuff is going to be canon. If anything, if it were going to be somehow quote-unquote canon to hers, it would essentially be a completely alternate timeline and universe. This is essentially my take on my character, how I want it to go. Now, in my version, she will absolutely wind up with the little romantic group that she set up, the Bail. Now, in my original vision, there was going to be some very sexual parts. And there still is, now that I figured out how to post things onto AO3. And what I plan to do is on YouTube, I'll have the dubbed safe version. Now, that doesn't mean I'm redrawing it. It just means certain parts will absolutely be skipped over. But on my AO3 account, that is where I'm going to have the inappropriate stuff. The stuff for you spicy lovers who enjoy the internet and all it has to offer. Now, I know it has been a while since I last posted, and I have been doing little trailers. And I am still going to be doing trailers. But for the next 2 days, production on the comic is going to pause because what I am doing is finally finishing up the Toothless hoodie I've been working on, which I will show you, Internet. And I'm going to be seeing the live-action How to Train Your Dragon movie on the 19th with my mother and brother. Now, as for my character that I use to talk on the internet in the one in the comic, they're not going to be one and the same. You can tell by the quality I have given them. The one that I use to talk on the internet, I don't put a lot of quality into her because I want her to look more like a normal person. Awkward, not always looking her best, not fully well planned out. Whereas the comic one, I want to show that she is planned out. That is her being my biggest art project in drawing ever. Because I've tried drawing a comic multiple times before with my own original characters and everything. But I could never stick to it. I could never fully finish it because there is no initial plan that had been thought out. Because truth be told, I had been imagining my character for almost a full year, because when 2012 came out, I had already imagined what I would look like as a Ninja Turtle, but originally she wasn't black and white, she was just a normal turtle. But as the years went on, as I saw more TMNT, as I saw more media, she evolved into what she is now. Now, I did put a piece of myself into her. That is something every artist does. They put a piece of themselves into their characters. Be it something that is sexual, be it something that is their sexuality, or just personality traits. What I am doing is a mix of my personality traits and a mix of my experiences, a mix of what I understand of the world. And yes, I know it does sound like as if it's just an OC self-insert, which it kinda is. Any fandom is going to have that. And my plan is, I'm actually going to make it partly musical. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a full-blown musical or anything like that. No, I'm saying, like, there is going to be some singing that I'm going to do a little bit of it, but I know I suck at it. So it's mostly going to be some lullaby type stuff. But for certain scenes that I feel would do well with the song, I am going to use recordings off of CapCut. It's not going to be the best thing, which sucks a little bit, but I am going to do my best. And I know July is pretty far away. I'm going to try my best to get it done soon, because I am actually almost at the part where she escapes the lab. I just got the base shapes, which if you saw in my previous trailer, the second one, you see that there is just a page full of circles. That is the posing. I don't draw the lines. I just put where the joints go, and that tells me where to draw. Occasionally I'll put lines for where the chest should be, and I'll put lines for how the face should be posed. But that is it. I don't put the lines because I know that the circular parts in the way that I press down will absolutely be left behind, but that just shows how much effort I put into this. Now, will I eventually probably redraw this at some point using digital art? Oh yeah, but I want to wait until I am a little bit more comfortable, understand how I can use digital art, take photos, and then put it onto the internet. Because I haven't picked quite a good drawing program yet, and I know Cherry suggested it to me once before on my... I am going to say this now, I have a different channel, but the fact is, it shows my face, it shows who I am, and it shows who my family is, but these are very old videos. And honestly, I was a different person back then. I was not very proud of the person I was. I was essentially like 2012 Raphael, so insecure that occasionally I would take it out on others. I have changed a lot since then, and I know I still have a long ways to go as a person, but I have grown a lot better. I have taken accountability for my actions more. And I think that's probably why I relate to Raphael out of all the Ninja Turtles in every iteration so far. What the hell? Anyway, yeah. Essentially, going back to what I originally made this video for, I finally figured out how the AO3 thing works. It took looking up a video, because for the love of God, anytime you look something up and try to figure it out via what the text tells you, it's like you got slapped in the head. And luckily, this time, I have an understanding of how it works, so I'll be able to do a cover and everything for her. The YouTube one is just to get hype, and honestly, like Cherry Treat says, once it's out there, I would like you all to be comment tax-abiding citizens, so that way you can support me and my work in some way. This is not going to be my main thing. I am going to work full-time in general, but perhaps if this goes well, I can keep going as an artist, and one day open a Patreon, and perhaps one day just do art like I dreamed for my job. Maybe even one day work on my own little comic book series that the world loves. Be like, it's hard to pick anybody who hasn't really done anything they shouldn't and gotten a lot of hate for like whatever they do. I was gonna say like the next J.K. Rowling, but you know, that ain't gonna work. And even then, I'm actually like working on my own little book, but I'm not going to show my book. I want to save it for a couple years, try and get 20 mini stories. Essentially, it's gonna be like scary stories to tell in the dark, but with more illustrations, like a picture book version for a more mature audience that I think would bridge the gap between little kid and teenagers, that nice in-between that are trying to discover who they are, what they like. And in this case, it would be showing what they fear, and that it is kind of up to them to keep those fears from getting to them, but they don't have happy endings. At least some of them do. But the happy endings are kind of twisted. Alright, this video is getting long. It is almost 10 minutes. It is most likely 1 a.m. for me if well, half an hour away from it, but still. This is Luna Hamato signing off, and I really hope you guys continue to support this comic and what I am doing. And I know you're probably hearing a bunch of background noises. I fidget with stuff when I get nervous or distracted. I might have ADHD or something like that. I don't know. I never got tested. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need glasses at some point as well. And yeah, I think I am still going to go through with the glasses idea. But what I'm gonna have to do is draw her a couple times in her various forms very well, like I do for the comic right now, and actually see how it works. But what I think I might do is use a pen to fix it. Essentially what I was doing before was all pencil drawing, but I think what I'm going to have to do is use a pen so that way it is nice and thin and the glasses stand out but don't look like garbage. Alrighty, this is Luna Hamato finally signing off. And to my lovely Rara, I love you.